Ravens and the Cowboys in a way too early loser leaves town question mark? Well, it wasn't the Ravens leaving town. And if they are, they're leaving with a W. King Henry.
It's over. It has to be over.
Running roughshod. Plunges in for the touchdown for a big lead for the Ravens. It would be a valiant effort in a comeback by Dallas, but it comes up short. 28-25. Baltimore tried to give this one away in moments, but the lead too large. They are winners, their first of the season, avoiding an 0-3 start. Ryan Wilson back in studio to explore some of what we saw. It was a different final quarter than maybe we expected with how dominant the Ravens were on the front end. So I know celebration is in order here for a Ravens team that avoids 0-3, but why is it so hard for them to get the thing to the clubhouse sometimes?
This is wild because it felt like, and we've talked about the late fourth quarter collapses under John Harbaugh, especially in light of the 0-2 start before this game here in Dallas. And for 45, 50 minutes, this game felt like it was in hand. We were having conversations about when is Bill Belichick going to take over for the Cowboys? Is it going to be this season or next? And then we walk down to the studio and look at the scores, 28-25, and you wonder how it all fell apart. 2 punts, a 46-yard missed field goal by Justin Tucker, which never happens this season. Seems to be particularly rough for Justin early on, and hopefully he gets it right. He's one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker in the NFL. But I'm sure John Harbaugh's having the conversation, how do we do 60 minutes of football like we did the first 45? Because this team somehow was almost 0-3, and once it's 0-3, that's a wrap. I feel a little bit better about the Ravens than I do about the Cowboys right now. Maybe if you're selling moral victories, if you're Mike McCarthy, the last 15 minutes is what we need to see going forward. But there's a lot of bad football up to that point at home. And you talked about how many points has this team given up at home the last 3 games, going back to last year's playoff loss, the demoralizing playoff loss. So I'm at a loss. I don't feel great about either team. So I don't know where you are on the ID check for these teams, but I don't know if I'm letting them in the club.
I think the Ravens, with that head coach, that quarterback, the talent around them, will still cobble together a season that will end in the playoffs at some point. I don't know that I see a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
These Cowboys, they do now beg the question of what does it look like moving forward? Because this is a loss, and yes, you find the moral victory within, didn't let go of the rope, or you could sell it however you can, but 50-something rushing yards once again. How is this team supposed to play against these NFC sides with no form of a rushing game right now, and where does it come from?
No rushing game. This isn't on Zeke Elliott or Rico Dowdle. And oh, by the way, the Week 1 trouncing of the Browns, that wasn't so much Mike Zimmer. That was the Browns not being very good. Last week they were embarrassed by Derek Carr and the Saints. This week they were embarrassed for 50 minutes by the Ravens offense. So no running game, no defense. You're putting everything on Dak. We saw a frustrated CeeDee Lamb, understandably so, early in that football game. This feels not great. It's not bad. You can fix it. But it feels like it's sort of the saying, you're trying to build the airplane in the air. You better get the mechanics out there because there's a lot of questions, and it has not looked good for 3 games.
Where does this lug nut go? This one goes in,
chucks it out the window.
Yeah, this one goes in the loss column as they do fall just short against the Ravens. A valiant effort, but we don't give out W's for effort. A loss here for the Cowboys at home again. All right, Lamar Jackson has kept his team from an 0-3 fate, and we know what that means. You go 0-3 to start the season, you ain't going nowhere.
It's a wrap.
Now 1-2. Nice flight back home. Feeling better about yourselves. Record by a starting quarterback against the NFC. Well, if we ever see him at a season's end, bodes well. Now 21-1 cross conference.